Okay, sorry. I'm gonna continue on. That's one of the deals. At the same time, I kind of, I kind of had less jealousy or issues or anything because, I simply did not really compete. My first job when I was 18 and I finished high school, and believe me, I could have gotten much better jobs. At that time, I was quite bright, and I had gotten jobs, but yeah, I got the type of job too where I was at the bottom, and nobody really had any issues with me. And again, I was kind of living like that. I guess you could say even in my adulthood. Now moving on, um, yeah, kind of, it was a big kind of avoided thing. I would say that the day that I faced up to myself and decided that I was gonna take a big step, I was gonna change my life, I was gonna change everything I was doing. I was gonna, for the first time in my life, I was gonna go on a journey. And this ended up being a journey doing something that I thought was impossible. I literally thought that forever, for as long as I lived, for as long as I lived, that I would never get out of this shell. I would never grow. I seemed to kind of not have. So I thought I would never grow or anything. And that was a day, I was saying 2015, that I robbed a bank. And I kind of established who I was. I did it, in a place that was ideally perfect, and I robbed the bank there. And something that I thought was impossible. I mean, I really thought I could do almost anything in this world, except for this. I never thought that I would be out of this. So that day when I robbed that bank, and I did it, obviously I've talked about the location I did it in, did it with a mask, had something pointed at people, um, 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 got cash money and left the bank. Now, I never thought it would have been possible that this journey would begin. That day, my journey began. Right after that, I got picked up. I got put in a police station. I went to jail, and for the next years, I was always, my stuff was going on. House arrest, this and that, bail, everything, and then obviously spending years in a facility. But yeah, that's when the journey began, and I just learned more and more and more. And I finally, I would say about 2.5 months ago, I did something. I did something. I did something that I thought that would never happen. I finally gained a presence in this world, and you wouldn't believe how sour it made people. People would come to your face and say, I like this guy the most. He's the nicest, person ever. And all these people were like, oh, he's the best, blah, blah, blah. And all these same people now are sour as fuck, and they're jealous as fuck. You know what I mean? They're so sour that how could this guy be able to do this? And it's like, dude, you are not even close to my level, man. You're like a pussy, man. You really literally are a pussy. You know what I mean? And you could never even imagine being at my level even before. You were just glad that I was gifting you everything. Oh, go ahead, go ahead. Me just sitting back, letting everybody do whatever. Go ahead, do whatever you want. I'm just gonna sit here and do my thing and sit on this. You know what I mean? That kind of mentality. And you knew I was always better than you. First I start beating you and you can't believe it. And in your mind, you're thinking, this guy could have always had beaten me. It's like he never tried though. And he's barely putting an effort and it's making me look so stupid the way he's beating me. You know what I mean? That's kind of how people would start feeling. But now it's like I've never had hate like this. And I think back to, there was a guy, I forgot his name. It's not coming to my head. But he played the little guy in Friday After Next. He became Cat Williams, maybe. Was it Cat Williams? I think it might have been Cat Williams, a little comedian. And he had this big, very popular stand-up comedy come out around that time, which was all about if you have more haters, that means you're more successful. And I realized today this guy was an epic genius. I have never had hate to this level, but at the same time, I've never had life this good. And I've never done this well in life. And rather than having all this people nice to you, loving your face and loving you up, now all of a sudden all these people hate you. And it's so weird because it's like, how do I gauge my success? Like, I'm more successful, but people are hating me more. That means it's like a mathematical equation. Does more success equal people hating you more? In which case, what does that? Therefore, it means people hating you more is you being more successful, or it is better for you, right? That's the mathematical equation. So, I mean, at this point, as of today, that's the deal. That's the deal. And and you wouldn't believe it. Like, it's, life is so genuine. You know what I mean? And when people huddle around you or give you too much attention, what happens is that they open them up to being hit. They open themselves up and then they get hit. And I don't mean physically. I should clear that up really with you guys. But they get to the point where, because there's so much attention, so much energy put around you, that they're getting hit, right? And you wouldn't believe it, but it's like them getting hit is like every time it's like you hitting somebody in your past. You know what I mean? You beating somebody in your past. And they don't even understand, like, these people that hate you now are giving you the fuel to build your own fire to great means. They don't even realize that. They don't even realize all this weight they're putting on you, trying to put you at a disadvantage and whatnot, and you beating them. Like, they don't realize that they actually are like characters or a cast in a play where you are, whether you're the antagonist, the hero, the villain, whatever you are, but you are succeeding off of them. But it's not like your way where you were just sitting back and they were getting to go forward. It's like they are fucking with you, they hate you, and you're just picking them apart like little dolls in a dollhouse. And that's what it's, and that's one of the things, but that's not everything. You always have a chance to make up something in your past. Granted, if it's possible. If it's not possible, it won't be. And there are things that can occur or happen in your past where it's not possible. Something is not possible. Some things are possible. You got to remember some things are not possible. But for what I know, for what is possible, because of my attitude and the way I was, and people will make fun of you for being perfect sometimes. Oh, that person's perfect or whatever. And they don't understand how strong of an attribute that is, because when you're doing everything perfectly and right to your knowledge, and you're actually doing right, you know what I mean? No matter what you do, you'll always be able to come back. You'll always be able to come back. And people, that's really how it is. You're always able to come back because you were doing everything right to your knowledge. Your knowledge has gotten better. Your life is changing, and you are able to kind of build and make your life and build your life. I'm telling you, to me, snakes and ladders is different, because the ladders throw me down as the snakes bring me up. The snakes move me up and the ladders pull me down. That's the funny thing about my life right now. The snakes are bringing me up and the ladders are throwing me down. But what does your past mean in your present? It doesn't have. If you were doing everything properly, chances are people kind of ran away with whatever they could get from you. If they got something on you, they'd run away with it, right? Which means that they were on the run and you were still on the prowl. Or I was still on the prowl. So if they're on the run and I'm on the prowl, and now I got them in my sights and they're hating me and throwing themselves at me, it's just like, it's amazing, It's just like, oh, thank you. I mean, you don't know how easy it is for me to just you're trying to throw the ball at my face, and I'm just knocking it out of the park in front of everybody and shutting down the whole home audience, the opposite team, and everybody. You don't even know what kind of favors you're doing for me, trying to fuck with me, and it's like it's only building me up more. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So that's what it is when it comes to your past and your present. You know, the past, to a certain extent, you can actually kind of help while you're in the present, right? And going on in your future, we don't really know what happens in the future, but we know the present. And to be in the present, to be doing well in your present, I think, to be very honest, I think that's just good enough. You are just fine. You're just fine. I'm just fine, and it actually works out. Granted, it's not a pretty sight, and it's not comfortable, and it's not likable, and it can be aggravating, or you just don't like it. But I mean, that's how it is. If a lot of people are gonna hate you, I mean, I told you this planet has physics and laws that that are only here. You know what I mean? Like, it's agreed by scientists that this planet has a special gravity level, for example, and gravity is a physics. And in this world, people hating you more is what propels you forward. And not only that, but the same people hating you accept it. When they hate you and you beat and you move forward, everybody goes, "Oh man, this guy's so hated. He must have been doing something right." And when you do everything perfectly, like Martha Stewart, what happens? You know what I mean? Like, everyone's just like, but wait a second. Martha Stewart is still successful. She went to prison. Guess what? That lady is so strong. She went to prison, came out, and she's still doing her thing and making money. And she's out of the limelight now. So good for her, right? Good for her or not. I like to wrap this up by saying, there's nothing really to it, man. You know, there's nothing to it. You just do what you gotta do, right? All right, I'm just doing what I gotta do, and yeah, I've never had this kind of hate, but to be honest, it's new to me. And whenever something is new to you in your life, even if it's bad, it's kind of like, whoa. For me, it is, because I've been stuck in the same routine, the same exact life for so long, that for me, this is all new, and I'm actually enjoying it as it's happening. Is there anything I would like to say at the end? Yeah, I'm doing things most people aren't doing, and that helps me out too. But that's because some people are too liked, and there's not that many people as hated as you. If you are as hated as me, you wanna come in, you wanna try something, and give me an opportunity. I would love it, because you know, you will be my snake that raises me up.